Okay, calling to order the Committee on International and Legal Affairs, noting the presence of Councilmembers Toba, Waters, Cordero, and Wire. We'll start with announcements. Pursuant to Section 92-3.7 HRS, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda in person in the council chamber and remotely when each agenda item is taken up. Both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution and Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes. Members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time, as may be necessary, will be allowed for the testifiers to provide an English translation to their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 1-minute presentation on each item. Once in-person testimony is concluded, I will proceed to those who have registered to testify remotely by video conference. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. I will then give persons who have not registered an opportunity to offer testimony. Please utilize the raised hand feature in Zoom to be called on. For those joining us by telephone only, press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, please press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you're also watching the proceedings on Olelo, please mute your television at the time you are called to testify. When the timer on screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. HRS Section 92-317 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by a roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, I will call for objections, and if there are any, I will call for a roll call vote. Written testimonies. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. Cell phones, as a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones. Okay, moving to agenda item number 1, confirming the reappointment of Sheldon Jim On to serve on the Ethics Commission. Commissioner Jim On, would you like to make a statement?
Hi, I've been here before. I just wanted to stop by and say hi. Thank you for all of your hard work. I believe another commission member had submitted a statement in my support, but I'm here primarily because I won't be here on December 3rd. And I wanted to let you know that if you had any questions, that's why I'm here.
Okay, sounds good. Members, any questions? Okay, moving to
Thank you.
In-person testimony. We have anyone registered?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, moving to remote testimony. Anyone registered?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, sorry. Members, we have a posted CD1 with technical amendments submitted by myself. So please note the CD1. Okay, anyone else wishing to testify who's in the audience and not registered, or online who's not registered?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, members, any questions for the nominee? Okay, thank you. All right, members, Chair recommends that Resolution 25-293 be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, see none. Okay. I always forget this because we do it differently in the House. Okay, sorry about that, members. We have to do the CD1 first. So Chair recommends that Resolution 25-293 be amended to the posted CD1 identified that we talked about. Any discussion? Okay, see none. Do I have to vote on the underlying bill again?
Yes. CD1 be put out for adoption.
Okay. All right, Chair then recommends that Resolution 25-293 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Okay, agenda item number 2, resolution 25-281. This is a gift of travel and related expenses for the Director of Human Resources for the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. Is there anyone here to testify? Director, do you want to testify?
Good afternoon, Chair Nishimoto, members of the committee. I'm Nola Miyasaki, Director of the Department of Human Resources. On behalf of my department and the administration, we request your favorable approval of the acceptance of a gift from the Bloomberg Harvard City Initiative Leadership Program. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, I again forgot about the posted CD1 submitted by myself with technical amendments. Is that okay? Okay. Are there any in-person testimony?
Chair, there are none.
Are there any remote testimony?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, are there any unregistered in-person or remote testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, thank you, members. Any questions? Member Cordero.
Thank you, Chair Nishimoto. Director Miyasaki, how was the being a guest speaker at the event since it passed? Oh, wait, where are you? Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry, can you,
Yeah, since it passed, would always like to hear about how the event went.
okay.
That you were guest speaker at.
Of course. So this, I don't know if the council members remember, but 2 years ago, the city was accepted to participate in the Bloomberg Harvard inaugural talent management program. It was a week-long program, and Deputy Managing Director Roger Babcock and I went up to participate along with 15 other cities across the country. It was a wonderful program. It really, basically the program focuses on change management, data driven decision-making, DEI, and basically executive management, how to manage your talent management programs. And so it's a really wonderful program. So this was the third cohort of that same program, and the Bloomberg Harvard team requested that I come back to Harvard, to Cambridge, to sit on one of the alumni panels. So they provided the costs of the travel, and the managing director and the mayor requested that I accept their invitation to speak, just to give back to them and to help, provide alumni perspectives for the current cohort. So that's that we sat on a panel. I sat on a panel with 2 other directors from other cities that were in the program 2 years ago. But I did also learn a lot too.
Awesome. Thank you, Director Miyasaki, for sharing. Sometimes, most of the time we don't normally get to hear how these trips went, I should say, and so this is a good opportunity.
Thank you, Councilmember. And one other thing I would add is that one of our projects at the time was to improve the hiring rate for the engineer, and since then, that was our project that was submitted, and since the 2 years have passed, we have improved our hiring rate, but more importantly, we were able to, pass with the unions with a supplemental agreement to have a separate engineer salary schedule, which has helped us be more competitive.
Okay, and was that
that was part of the project from 2 years ago?
Okay, perfect. That was the one with Director Babcock as well.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Great to hear, and I'm glad that it's working out, and I'm hoping to see that it could be reflected in the future budgets. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Quick one.
Chair Waters.
Thank you. Director, sorry. You said something really interesting, that part of this Harvard City Leadership Initiative, you talked about data-driven decisions. Can you explain a little bit more what that means?
Yes, so they spent a whole day. The way the program works is the Harvard faculty would present case studies, and there would be discussions and lectures on the four different topics. And then, of course, all the cities had to make a presentation on our own project. But the data-driven decision-making is really all about, they're all about data. You know, and we really need to be making decisions based on hard data and not anecdotal evidence or, you know, stories that we think are true. And that's the only way that we are able to measure progress and achievements. And so we tried to follow that, and in HR and across the city in different departments, I think we really have, you know, tried to go by that, the lessons we learned there. And recently, I think the purchasing team went up for another Bloomberg Harvard program too, but the data gathering aspect of what we have been doing since we had, I don't know if you recall, a couple of years ago, we had A.R. Naveed, and he helped us pull a lot of data about our efficiency, the hiring efficiencies. And then we had the city auditor. So a lot of that was just a lot of collection of data, and we still do that. We're always trying to improve, but we look at our efficiency dashboard from time to time, and we've just started a vacancy dashboard so that the departments can see real time what their vacancies look like. And so we're really trying to, from lessons learned from these various initiatives, but especially with that one week at Bloomberg Harvard, really focusing on data-driven decisions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, members, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, Chair recommends that Resolution 25-281 be amended to the posted CD1. Any WRs or noes? Okay, Chair then recommends Resolution 25-281 CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, seeing none, thank you. All right, members, we now move to executive session. The following items are posted on the agenda, have been referred to executive session. I will read the items individually to allow for oral public testimony on each item. Testifiers will testify on all executive session items together. The time allotted for each testimony on each item is 1 minute as set forth in the agenda. Agenda item number 3, certified construction. Agenda item number 4, Diana Crockett. Agenda item number 5, Debra Freeman. Agenda item number 6, Sykap. Agenda item number 7, Solon. We'll now proceed to in-person testimony. Are there any in-person testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, are there any remote testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, anyone else wishing to testify in person or remotely who is not registered?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Members, are there any objections to convening into executive session? Okay, without objection, the committee convenes into a closed meeting pursuant to HRS Section 92-4 and 92-5A4 to consult in a closed meeting with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and/or liabilities of the city, the council, and its committees on the items listed on the agenda for executive sessions. The following persons will be participating in executive sessions: all council members present, from Corporation Counsel, Deputy Corporation Counsel Pang, Yost, Lau, Ichimura, Wong, Ogata, and Lee. From the Office of Council Services, Director Park, Deputy Director Pitcher, Staff Attorney Matsuda. For those members participating remotely, okay, no members participating remotely, right? Okay. All right, members, we are going to move to executive session. Yeah, we're going to recess for executive session. Recess subject to the call of the chair. Committee on International Legal Affairs is reconvening pursuant to Section 92-4 and 92-5A4 Hawaii Revised Statutes. The committee has consulted in executive session with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and/or liabilities of the city, the council, and its committees on the items listed on the agenda for executive session. Okay, for agenda item number 3, the chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a case against the city and county in Honolulu entitled Certified Construction. Any WRs or no's? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Moving on to number 4, chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a claim by Diana Crockett against the city and county of Honolulu be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or no's? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a case against the city and county of Honolulu, Debra Freeman, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or no's? See none, thank you. Chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a case against the city and county of Honolulu entitled Sykap versus City and County of Honolulu as discussed in executive session be reported out for adoption. Any discussion?
Chair, with reservations.
Okay, thank you. Chair Waters.
Is this the Sykap case?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to be voting yes with reservations, but may I explain my vote?
Go ahead.
You know, based on what I know about the case and what we watched on the news, we can't take this case to trial. Despite the fact that I believe that the police officers were working to protect the public and within their scope and duties, and the fact that the defendant was Sykap was in a stolen car, committed various crimes, including a home invasion, an armed robbery with a family in my district, resulting in a high-speed chase through urban Honolulu. The problem, as I see it, the prosecutor's office charged the police officers with murder. Murder carries a mandatory life imprisonment. And the police officers can't go to trial and defend themselves in this civil case because anything they say can and likely will be used against them in a criminal trial. And the prosecutor's office could recharge them with murder. And by the way, there's no statute of limitations on murder. They could be charged anytime, these police officers. And the prosecutor's office already tried 2 times to charge these officers with murder. Once before the grand jury, which failed, and a second time in a preliminary hearing before a judge, which failed. Another glaring reason why the city cannot take this to trial is that Steve Alm, the prosecuting attorney who charged the officers with murder, is the star witness for Sykap. So based on all of that, it's unfortunate that we have to settle this case. So I'm going to vote yes, but with reservations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, any other questions or concerns? Okay, members, Chair will also vote with we'll vote with reservations. Any other WRs or noes? Okay, see none. Motion is adopted. Okay, and going to the final case, Chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a lawsuit against the City and County of Honolulu entitled Solon versus the City and County of Honolulu, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, see none. We are adjourned.